Great day, good day, good day. Now, I saw this video floating around on social media, and people in the comments were saying how ridiculously daft these people are, and they could be doing better things with their time, like, with the atrocities that are happening right now. Here's what I'm going to say. What these men are doing is a very noble cause, and I mean that in the original sense, because your scriptures that you are preaching from were created in the Mediterranean. I'm going to say it again. The scriptures which you are preaching from were created in the Mediterranean. I mean, you must know what this picture is about. I've shown you. But are you really looking? It's about Christ. What about when I showed you this about the Granada War with the Little Moor, aka equaling Muslim, also Moorish, which is not a self-designated title, somebody else gave them that title, and the Christian. Look at where the dark person is. Look where they are, but you keep calling yourself Muslims and Christians. So now we've established that, then who would the snake be? Because here you have Eve, you have Adam, and you have another person, and you have the apple. And that apple is not just about technology, it's about a family, a legacy. And the snake, who would that be? The bad snake. Wow. You see, you're so impressed when you see a black person in literature, when you see them in their turbans and their clothing, but that thing around their neck is to say, and is to designate, is to demonstrate that they are a slave, that they belong to somebody. You were given the name Moor after you took on religion, but that's not who you are. They sell your images in Europe because they know that's not who you are. But it's fun to them to dress you up and laugh because they know that's not who you are. Those images you've just seen are of Italians, French, Dutch, German, and English. You became a Moor. You became a Christian. And you're still doing it now. This is what you're doing. Because you're stuck in an identity that you're not even aware of, even though your intentions are pure. I say it again. Such a noble cause. See, some are listening and they know exactly what I mean, and they're probably thinking, how dare she know who she is? The olive branch, because you accepted the religion in Armenia. The cross, which they put you on if you don't listen. The sword. Well, same thing, innit? It's just quicker. They were white slaves. You just don't get it. Everything that's still happening is just a continuation. These films are just a continuation. You're so impressed. It's about slavery. It's just a continuation. See, they told you it was about what happened after the flood, but I don't think you believe what they're saying to you, The flood happened, and you see their art, its symbolisms, it's a crime scene. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're right there, but you still don't get it. You see, they say things are myths, but when these myths start being unearthed, then is it a myth? Streets that were paved with gold, and then they find the yellow brick road. Uncanny, isn't it? I showed you where your religion came from, but did you go and look? I doubt you did, so I brought it to you. This is Africa, this is Asia, and there is Europe, all next to each other. Now yes, there were all these classifications in the Americas, with the African American thing and 1/4 quadroon and all them thing there. But you see, all of these people that call themselves Arabs today, they're ethnic. That's why you've got all those flags, because that's not where they started. But the reason why the ethnics are in that group is because I told you. Africa was in Europe. It's Africa Minor, North Africa, Algeria, whatever you want to call it, it was in Europe. You didn't believe me, so I showed you right here. Where is Viali? There it is. All of these people came out of this Bible thing I chat about. And as you can see, there's white people there. See, I know you think you're making sense, but the problem is because you won't accept this one fact, this is why you're stuck in this white man's religion, which you claim it's not. And don't get me wrong, I know that they all derived from a religion that wasn't theirs. But currently, the message is not your message. It wasn't originally you. And all these money, I actually got more respect for them than anybody in history, because they said, "Loud this BS, we are going to leave and go to America." I know you didn't get me, so I showed you their fathers, who are mulattoes, who are mixed race and called Indians. The first Indians to be sent to the Americas with the gospel, who said, "F that, we're not doing it, it's not who we are," because they were from India. And people got kicked out of Spain. So they took them and their argument somewhere uninvited and decided to take over. Now their fathers here, they were from here, you see, and this is what they look like, and I showed you in a previous video. There you go, called savages, hunter-gatherers. You've heard that before, haven't you? Right here, do you see? I bet you don't. Question is, do they look like Christians? With all due respect, they're laughing at you, you know. Honestly, these were your ancestors, so you're not making sense. Why wouldn't white people be slaves, since this was happening in Europe? These pictures are a crime scene, I keep telling you. I gave you this book. Did anybody go and read it? Well, if you read these pages, you will see how awfully these white slaves were treated in Europe. See, it goes back to this, which I showed you. The Grenada War. See your foot there? The black foot and the things on your back? Those were called Moriscos. You know whose family they are? Well, look, when you're praying for your Boab, you are praying for your Abu Allah Boab Dil Muhammad the 12th. I have been showing you, you're in the middle between a Muslim and a Christian. So the girl or lady in front of him would be classed as a peasant, but if she fights for the Lord, then she becomes a noble. But some of you did fight for the Lord, you took it well serious, just like you do now. They say you carried the religion on your shoulders. Shall I show you how? A man with a dog head called Reprobus, a reprobate mind, that scripture is about him. According to Christopher too, carried Christ over the water, such a great man. A patron to all these countries. And this is what he had to do to be accepted, because they didn't like him and where he was from. They called him a monster or a giant, you know. Haram. Why was he reprobate? Because he left Islam. So if Romans is about Romans, then who's God then? And so when they got whatever they wanted from him to make them great, they called him an outcast, a scoundrel, and then slapped him in the face. That's what turned the other cheek is about him. But he forgave them because that was one of the laws. And then Philip the Arab made sure that they ended him. And now they have festivals and they blackface and go all the way back to the original people of Spain and Italy. It's fun. And guess what? All for the noble peasant. This is one. Those have been some. And this is the greatest of all noble peasants. And you big them up and call yourself the Lion of Judah. But they see you as Christopher. Who's Christopher? The doghead. Who's the doghead? Anubis. Who's Anubis? What did he do? Got the money. That's how Christ got rich. And then they chained him on a ship. Now he's got a bad reputation and he looks like this. So now when you serve Christ, you serve that, this, and this. Now will you remain a slave